Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Doing another trade recap. It's July 21st, 2021, and today's performance was not great. I need to take a break or something. Something needs to change soon, and I've just been going through a bit of a rut lately with some trading. On top of that, the AC has gone out. I'm here in Texas, and AC is now out, or it's been out actually since this morning. Had a technician come out and do some diagnosis. So anyways, they've got to order a new fan motor for that, and that's going to take God knows how long. They have to put in a request for the warranty company. Warranty company has to go to the manufacturer, order a part, and with all the craziness with supplies and stuff going on right now, I have no idea how long that's going to take. So I that had to play in to today's trading, maybe a little bit into some frustration. But I'm going to show you my performance, show you how I did, and we'll talk about it. So today we had a big mover. Let's talk about it. CEMI. Cambio Diagnostics. Had some news today. There was something about it. They're like let's see if I can find it. Diagnostic shares triple after purchase order. Yeah, some kind of purchase order this company was making for antigen tests for COVID. Receives purchase million order antigen tests in Brazil. Yes, so some significant news there. Now let's look at the chart real quick. Show you the daily, or show you this is the intraday 1 minute candle, and we had this really nice run up. And I'll tell you what, I still struggled with it, man. It's sad to see something move up so much. I think it topped out around 200%, maybe something a little bit above that, but that's a huge mover, and that's should be plenty of opportunity to be green on the day, to be big green on the day, by the way. And guys, I'm negative. That's absolutely pathetic. It's sad, and I'm down 216 bucks on the day. I mean, it's not incredibly bad, but that's just in my eyes, it's extremely poor performance on this thing. However, I will add that this thing was it got incredibly crowded. There's 395 million shares that were traded. That's absurd. That's crazy. So there's a lot of people in this, which is what I think caused a lot of this false breakout stuff and choppiness. Look how many big red candles are within this range alone. Look at that massive drop there, right here, right here, right here, right here. And that's why it was kind of difficult for me. So earlier in the day, I'll show you my performance real quick on the day. This is, you know what? I only traded CEMI. That was the only one that was in play for me today. And I did get positive at one point, but it wasn't by much at all. So I got up to 109. And then back up to 97 at one point, but I was chopping all over the place. Started red, down 21, moved up a little bit, went up to that 109, dropped it all the way down to 176, back up to 97, then chopping it back down to neutral area, and then that's where I started to just bleed off. And I have a really tough time with shutting the trading down when I'm not getting anywhere, because there's been plenty of days in the past where I feel like I'm not getting anywhere and I'm just trading and trading and trading, and eventually I hit a streak where I get green and I start making better and better trades, and I get up to the high of the day and end there. There's been plenty of days like that for me, so I feel like seeing it through is beneficial for me, but on days like today it just doesn't work for me. It works against me, and as you can see, I just grinded along here, and I got to that point of up and down so much, and then just almost, sitting neutral at one point, thinking to myself, okay, let me just get green. And it's always that thought of like, let me get back to where I was. That's kind of rough territory, because once you start revenge trading, it's bad, of course. And I'm trying to get better, but I'm not really showing myself much improvement that I'm really sticking to rules really well. And that's sad. And this is what plays out kind of in the performance. Like, once again, down $216 is not the end of anything for me. It's not hugely significant. Now, if this was a $1,000 loser or a $2,000 loser, that's serious concern. So 216 isn't that bad. I can make it back, but it's just frustrating to, be red in general. So trending down here, this is where I got to that stage of like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And every trade I made just felt like I had a few correct ones, but obviously not that many. And I just slowly bleed it off. And it's easy to get there, even though I was cutting losses. I was doing good at just got in, and what I was looking for wasn't there. And it went to the downside. I would cut my losses. So I was good at cutting losses, but I just had so many of them that it didn't make sense. And I think it played out here for CEMI that, it just felt like so many trades I went into, I just weren't going the way I thought the probability would go on the trade, and very frustrating. So let's recap this whole move here initially. At the beginning of the day, right in here, morning market hours, this thing, gapped up pretty large, but the thing was pre-market. I saw it pre-market, and I just saw this sideways action, and there wasn't any significant pops or anything like that. It just traveled sideways and slightly down. So when it opened, I thought to myself, it's not even very attractive to me at this point. I don't see anything interesting on trading it at this point. And it moved up a little bit, and I was just like, nope, still not worth it to me. And then went down. I was like, yeah, that's... So I was looking at some other things. Neuro had a huge pop, but it was all... I did not get into Neuro today because it was just all halts. Look at this thing. It opened up today. Very impressive that it held this area from yesterday, and then it curled up massively today. Problem was, as soon as the market opened, look at this, straight into a halt and went into, what was that, more than a 20-minute halt, a super long halt. Opens up, gaps up instantly. Okay, I can't get in there. Did the same thing again, impossible to get in. And it just got to a point where it just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Yeah, it would have been nice to get in, but it's just so risky. I trying to get in is very difficult. And then let's say you get in somewhere in here, and if you popped up here and couldn't sell in here, guess where you're trying to sell at? Way down here. So this was absolute torture if you did trade. I know I probably wouldn't have done well. Let me know if you traded Neuro today, how you did on it. Comment below. But anyways, that was craziness. And after I saw that, I was like, nope, no thanks. Not even going to touch that one today. But impressive moves. CEMI. So yeah, let's get back to this. So once we started to make way, we kind of popped through this first high point at 432. It ripped past that and fell a little bit more. So I think I was still a little hesitant, but then once we got this rip up here, I was like, oh, this thing is definitely moving now. Okay, let's find a spot to get in, which is the hard part for me, because when you have this, nice run up, there were definitely opportunities to get in. But as we got higher and higher and higher, more extended, I felt like there were certain areas like in here, okay, we just had a huge extension. Let me get in, but I want to get in on something that's going to pull back a little bit more, because I felt like it was too risky to hop in, as you can see, like right here in these levels. Because I feel like if we were to go to retest, it might fake and then just have that nasty false breakout and be on the downside. So my problem here was I was just very hesitant to find a good spot to hop in. And hindsight, I should have just hopped in and rode the thing up. I had no clue it was going to move this much, and that created massive momentum. So as you can see in here, we hit this spot in here, and then we get that first major pullback. And oh, one sec, let me pause. I gotta take this. Don't you hate when you get a BS call? Yeah, that was one of those. Anyways, yeah, back to this. So huge extension here, and then we got this first big red pullback, and that's where I was thinking, okay, this thing is it's had its nice big run, and it's probably done for the day. And you see it sold off again. This is a big red move here, so that confirmed to me. It was just like, okay, this thing is probably getting to be about done for the day. And as you can see, look at this, just a huge run down and then a massive turnaround, and this green candle just goes, whoa, okay, so we broke past that, and I realized, okay, there's still opportunity here. So started hopping back in and had just a ton of trades on it. And then this area in here, oh man, difficult. Look, so huge run up. So now we've got all this strength. Okay, let me get a pullback. Look at this great opportunity right in here to get that, to buy in a little bit lower on the pullback, wait for the next leg. However, that next leg was a complete false breakout in the sense that it flipped up for a second. If you were able to sell, at the high, congrats to you. 648 right there, but it flushed instantly. And this was the theme of the day for me. This thing showing its potential to recover, but then only to fool you later on with these massive sell-offs. And so, I'm sure plenty of people got stuck in this and were selling off. It was a rough area. You would hope, after this return and this nice move here, that you'd get a nice, but it was just chop. And what's crazy is you get a huge sell-off like that thinking, okay, now is this thing done? Nope. Now it kind of settles out right in here and just curls and goes for another huge green move. So it's awesome to see the momentum, but at the same time, when it gets a little choppy like this, and it's not a super clean chart for me, I think that if you're, I don't know, at least for me, these things kind of, they get a little difficult to trade, but you want to be part of, I want to, be partaking in that green to the long side, and the momentum in that is there, because there's definitely momentum. It's just a matter of trying to time it right and not get tricked out. And I mean, look at this move here. We reached this high. What we get? I think that was the high for the day. Yeah, 695. This big pullback here. It's like, okay, this could be done for the day, but get two green moves here, thinking, okay, we're going to retest that 695 area. We could retest it, possibly blow past. And I would have expected maybe to actually go up to about 694, right a little bit closer to that area. But it didn't even get there. I almost got there, but goes up to what, 687. I'm sure a lot of people thought it was still had a little bit more room to go, and then we'd have maybe some hesitation here. If we got past that, it would blow past. But no, it just complete drop down. Let me know if you were in this spot. 11:16 was the time frame, going from, look at that, 687 to 630. Drastic pullback or breakdown. So once again, that was the theme for me. And eventually we got to this whole area here. Look, I feel like you just had to be a super, super solid trader, or at least sticking to your rules hardcore of like getting your money and walking away. Because watching this, it's like seeing it break down at this point, going, okay, this does not look good right in here. This does not look good, but you see it right back up, and we go, okay, I'm still hesitant. Breaks back down. So now we get the sideways action, and I think to myself, okay, if we hold kind of this range, we might get another move up. And here's a difficult spot for me. I decided, okay, I can kind of see this flat area. It's kind of a flat area. Let's just call it this whole range right in here, right around 627. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna be very hesitant, try to be a little bit more selective on this stock at this moment. And, you know, I'm only going to get into it if it looks like a good opportunity. And as we were curling here, we got into that 630 area. But it was a little tricky because I think I hopped in at one point, got some green on it. It looked like it was going to go further. And then I think I bought in here and it dropped out, had a quick little flush. So it was very, very whippy right in here, this spot right here. But then it whips down and completely blows past the 630 area and then does a huge another rip. So I missed out on some opportunity here, but going from this past and how just tricky this thing was, I just didn't feel confident in trying to get to, you know, this next area to trade in. And like right in here, as I see this huge green candle here move up, my thought was like, okay, we're going to retest the high because that's a massive candle. I think it's going to retest. And guess what? It didn't. It held just shy. What do we want, up to 680? And the high was 687, so just shy of that prior high. And another big, I think this is another false break here to me. That's kind of what it looks like. We reach this high, 680, pulls back. And then this candle here looks like it wants to go hard. Nope. Fake out, boom. 680 drops down. It's kind of a double top as well. And then this candle here, ooh, that's insane. Drops all the way down to 637 and then stocks back up. So it's just, I don't know. Once again, days like this where you have a stock that's running more than 200%, and as I was going, I just didn't have much to show for it. It just got me going. So hindsight, I should have walked away much earlier this morning, realizing I'm just not getting anywhere. I'm just rotating shares. And as you can see, I just bounced around so much. I did get green twice, but it was only up $100. I mean, it was really nothing. And then just slowly downhill from trying to kind of redeem myself here. And look at this. I mean, this chart is just full of these crazy, you know, false breakouts and drops right in here. Like, stabilize for just a little while, and then we get, oh, is this going to be another rip up? Nope. Almost 650, drop all the way down to 572 in one candle. So here was a bit of my saving grace, guys. I want to show you one last thing on this chart. Is I went all the way down to negative 450 something bucks down on the day, and I just told myself, like, all right, well, it's already later in the day, and I think this is it for me. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a $450 loss. And I decided earlier in the day, I did try to go short a few times, but I couldn't get any shares to borrow. So I kind of ruled that out. But later on, I actually decided, what was it, 1457? Yeah, right in here. This is what I did. We had this huge sell-off, right? This big drop. And I thought to myself, well, I'll just try to short it again. So I went to go short, and it was available. So I didn't get a whole lot of shares, but my initial short was 200 shares. and I started my short at 583. So right in here, thinking, okay, we're going to have a further continuation drop. And it didn't. It brought up a little bit. But I kind of thought to myself, this has gone through such a crazy move. And this was such a massive sell-off that I had just a little bit more confidence in that this thing was going to break down a little bit. I think going after this move, I didn't think we were going to have an instant comeback from that. And that's why I decided to go ahead and play to the downside on this. So hopped in at 583. It moves up a little bit more, and I thought to myself, this might be a good opportunity to add for a further short. So I tried to add a lot more, but all I could get was 50 extra shares. So I'm in at 250 shares, and that second short was at 592. So added at 592. And went up a little bit, but then we had a nice red candle down. So once again, this gave me a little bit more confidence and going, okay, this is not good for the stock. It looks like it's definitely crumbling, going to the downside. We had a massive run today, so I expected to break down a little bit further. Now, I don't want to get too cocky with this thing and, have it possibly bounce off VWAP, and then, it could possibly bounce and go even higher than the high of the day. I did kind of think about that and factor that in, but I just kind of rode it, and I just saw further breakdown and thinking, okay, this is definitely looking better and better and better. So I kept holding it, and I decided to hold it after hours and cover after hours here. So I covered the 250 shares at 491. And that was 1751. So right in here, right towards the bottom currently at the moment, after hours. I think this is definitely going to go further down at some point. But I told myself, with my shorts, I don't want to get too cocky. I know with time, this thing will go way further down. But I don't want to hold it, for a day or two or three. I don't want to get into that. I do have confidence that it's going to go further down, but I didn't want to have to sit on the capital and the position, because there is a chance maybe tomorrow it gaps up and does a huge another run. So I just didn't want to be caught in that whole situation. So I was just looking for the best time to cover and get out of this position. And I think it was best. So, yeah, 491 is pretty close to the bottom there at this point, and I'm happy I just decided to dump it. So that was actually a more than $200 winner. Yeah. So that was a great trade right there. And that put me from negative 450 to negative 216. So I recovered half my losses today, which is the only one good thing I did today. Other than that, I was churning a lot of shares and just fighting it all along the way, trying to... I don't know, I just felt like I got chopped out way too often. I'd get into a position and it would just go south on me. So my timing was not really good with it. And I think it was part of the fact that this was a tricky stock, but it was also just my performance in general, and maybe not picking the perfect spots to get in, but I just thought they were opportunities and I was trying to scalp. But just back and forth for me all day. And that was, the short position was the one thing that really helped me out, getting in right in here, selling down in here. So to me, that was a very good trade. And I feel better actually holding when I know a stock like this that has a huge run up, and then it's showing a very strong downside to it. I feel a little bit better holding my short position a lot longer than I would typically hold my long scalp short positions on the way up. Just because when things run, think about it, when they run so much that they eventually get to exhaustion, and when it comes to that downside, we all know the downside runs hard. As you can see right here, sometimes they come down real hard and fast. So I was trying to capitalize on that. So that was a good trade for me, 200 bucks. But still negative on the day. So overall performance, not great. Not great. That's what it looks like. And that's going to put me down 200 bucks on the day. This month has not been good to me. I realize, I know, I'm guilty of it. But we all are. Emotions are hard to manage. And someone recommended the other day Randy Howell, and his first name is Rande, not Y. Randy Howell. He is some kind of like former, he maybe still trades, but he's almost more of a psychologist, and he like a therapist almost, if you will. He has a ton of great YouTube videos, so make sure to check him out. I have seen him before. Someone else recommended him in the comments recently, so I actually went back and looked at a few of his videos, and gotta say they are great. And he talks about just, you know, the mindset that goes into trading, and prepping yourself and really getting in the mindset you need to be in for trading, because definitely it's a mind game. You are entering, you know, stocks a lot of time that there's a lot of random movement that you are trying to navigate through, which can be very difficult. And guess what happens when that happens is those emotions they'll come out. So if you're never going to get rid of your emotions, that's what we are as human beings, but you can learn to manage them, I guess, a little bit better, and be more focused on your setups and your rules. And like I said, I'm guilty of it. I definitely, there's times when I revenge trade or just let my emotions, you know, drive me to that next position. And I try to have that self-talk of like, sit back, wait for the setups, be patient. And sometimes I'm good at it, but not, as you can see, not always. But that's part of the game, is really trying to manage all that stuff. And yeah, so, you know, if you're interested, go take a look at that. That might help some of you traders out. But I appreciate whoever said that yesterday or the day before in the comments to go check that out. Definitely a good recommendation. So let me know if you find some benefit from him as well, and you start watching some of his YouTube clips. Very good. Anyways, that's where I'm going to end the day. AMC, where are we at with AMC? Not a great day, but overall in the scheme of things, I don't know. This is wicked. This is a wicked chart too. Huge run up, big sell off, bleeding. Hit this bottom here. Who knows where this thing's going to go? Very interested. Still holding. My cost basis is 18 bucks. Been holding through all this chaos. We'll see how it unfolds. That's it for now. What do we got? It's Wednesday, so tomorrow we got Thursday and Friday left. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on this week, but I've got some time, so I'm just going to try to trade my best, but I hope tomorrow I can just, if I can get a decent good green chunk on the day, I hope I can just, you know, shut it down, walk away, take care of some other stuff, because there's always other stuff to be dealt with, and that might be beneficial. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like this. I appreciate all you guys checking out the videos, and that'll be it. Take care.